What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It is March 11, 2024. Puck U is back after a crazy weekend. Trade deadline is behind us. Lots of new fits for a lot of guys around the league, but the same old story over here at Why Lose NHL. We are pumping out W's. I'm Mike Burns, joined as always as Why Lose NHL handicapper, Les Victory. We got 4 games scheduled tonight. We're going to touch on 3, but before we get to all that, Les, how the hell are we doing today, brother?
Doing good, Birdsy. Big weekend again for the Why Lose fam. We made some money again. Week over week, we've been green for the last, I don't even know how many weeks now. It's been 4 or 5 now of just good results night in, night out. So the nice thing is when we do lose, we're winning other bets on the card, which is really helping us keep that green attainable week over week. So things are going really good. Pretty wild one in the Wild last night, right? Pulling their goalie in overtime. I don't think I've ever seen that, but unless you're in a tournament and a tie doesn't get you to the dance. But I really like the play because you see how possession time is really important in overtime, and a lot of times if you win that faceoff, you hang on to the puck. And so if you want to treat it as a power play, and I think we're going to see this more and more going forward, especially with teams that need every point. And if they know they're not great in shootouts, why not? Why not? So I really like that move. It was just a plethora of goals last night. 9 goals in the Carolina game, 11 goals in the Hawks. There's 11 goals in that game. We had Chicago was the underdog bet of the night, and it cashed, and then another 7 goals in Duck Nation. So kind of a weird night as far as games went. Just a lot of goal scoring, which is kind of odd given the time of year. You would expect a little tighter games and a better effort from some of these teams, but it just didn't happen last night, Burnsy.
Well, listen, man, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So, I mean, these teams got to put up points. They haven't done it all fucking year. You might as well do it now. But yeah, like you said, man, it's a bit of a log jam. I mean, we're under 20 games left on the season. It's a log jam in the East. I mean, we were just talking about, you got 6, maybe even 7 teams vying for the last 3 spots. I mean, we've seen some movement over the weekend. The Isles have been red hot. They've jumped over to Detroit. But first, I heard about your trade deadline recap, and I just want to get right to it, brother. Let's start off with tonight. Let's talk about my Devs. I got the buy hat engaged, returning everything around right now. Going into MSG, Devils are coming in at plus 115, Rangers minus 135. Over under here set at 6.5. All right. So, Devs got to make some moves, right? We got rid of our leading goal scorer. Tyler Toffoli's gone. Our best goaltender, Vitek's out. Colin Miller, he's over in Jets Nation as well. In return, we get Jake Allen. We get Capo Kakinen, who's going to get the start tonight. This wasn't a move of, hey, let's make a big playoff push and try and find a seat at the dance here. This was a move for salary cap to get the summer set up. So 100%, I don't think my Devils are making a push. But I will say one thing. We may not find ourselves in the dance, but we're going to be fucking dancing tonight in NYR. We're going to be dancing hard, right? So my guys are going to wake up. My guys are coming in. Capo's going to stand on his head. He's going to have that new team juice coming in here. New York doesn't have a fucking chance. It's going to be Jonathan Quick between the pipes. And last time we played this guy, I'm just saying, we kind of beat him up, hung 4 on him. So where are you? How are you going to burst my bubble? Talk about this lineup here. What's going on?
Well, from a betting perspective, you know what? Kind of, you got a good point. A lot of money is moving in on New Jersey to win this game. I'm probably staying clear of this one because there's just too many uncertainties. You just folded the team over by completely changing your goaltending. So, sometimes change is good. Sometimes a goalie will play terribly for one team and then be the answer for the next team. So I want to give the Devils a couple games to settle in with their new lineup, their new goaltending before I really base an opinion on them. Now, mind you, mathematically, they still have a shot. You're still clinging on to that little bit of hope. They're not eliminated yet. So you look at the New York Islanders and what kind of run they've just gone on. And it's technically there's still a chance that New Jersey gets in, especially if Detroit doesn't get shit figured out there. But I mean, it's hard to ignore the Rangers at home. They're 22-8 at home, but the last few meetings these two teams had against each other, New Jersey outshot them, right? New Jersey outchanced them. They still lost the game, but Starkin is hot right now too. He just posted a shutout on Saturday. He's been really good. So you lose your best goal scorer. You're bringing in a goalie that's never played for you before. It's a full emotional change for them. It's going to be very difficult for your boys to walk into MSG tonight and take 2 points. A very much needed 2 points.
I see a big shutout coming for Kako tonight. I see the Devils holding the Rangers to under 7 shots for the fucking game. I mean, we are absolutely going to destroy them. Listen, the Rangers are the beasts of the Metro right now, man. Let me be delusional.
You are.
They're 7. I'm sorry. Yeah, 7-2-1.
What are you smoking right now?
You're telling me there's a chance. They put up 3.8 goals per game, and they limit their opportunity to their opponents to 2.3. Johnny Quick's going to get the start here. Johnny hasn't gotten seat in the pipe since February 25th. There's a lot of things going the Devils' way here, man. Jacob Trouba is out, and that's great news for all the forwards, as he just loves to pound on our fucking ass. I think every game he plays against us, he knocks out at least 2 of our guys. So we'll see what my guys have up their sleeve here. Well, there are a lot of trends here, a lot of things that, obviously I watch these two teams a lot. Panarin's got 20 points in his last game. He's only got four goals though. So, that he hasn't seen much of the back of the net. Trocheck has been on fucking fire. That pesky little bastard. He's got 8 goals over the last 10 games. Dare I say, and maybe this is the hope that I need, dare I say, is it Timo time? Has he waited all year for the perfect time to finally find the back of the fucking net? He's got 8 goals, 4 assists over the last 10. He's got goals, 6 goals in the last 7. I'm sorry, 6 games, 7 goals. I mean, he's right on fire. But where I'm putting my money tonight, man, and I know that this is my guys, it's all about Jackie Hughes. He plays great against the Rangers in the last 7 games. He's got 11 points, 8 of those goal. That's where my ATG money's going tonight.
As far as Timo Meier goes, it's about time, because what are you paying him, like $8.5 million or something crazy, and he's just starting to find the score sheet now. So I mean, you guess you're finally getting your money's worth when it almost doesn't matter. But hey, man, better late than never.
Yeah, he's going to get a statue at the end of this season as we get into the playoffs and make it all the way to the conference finals. All right, enough delusions. Let's get over to St. Louis.
Beside Nico Dawes.
St. Louis and Boston are facing each other in Boston. St. Louis coming in as a huge underdog here, plus 200. Boston's minus 245. Over under set here at low, where I think it's going to see 5.5. Boston has won the last 4 meetings against these teams, but I mean, just as Boston is, 3 of those have gone to fucking OT. The Blues are 3-6-1, scoring 1.8 goals per game, dude. But they do play strong on the defensive side. They've given up only 2.8. Tonight, we're not going to see Binner. We're going to have Joel Hofer between the pipes. I mean, like I said, D is not the problem. It's scoring for St. Louis. I mean, I was trying to see if I could find a prop that made sense on an anytime goal, anytime point for anybody on the fucking team, and I couldn't find anybody, dude.
No, and you won't, because they're just not a good scoring team, and they've really struggled as of late. They had a little bit of a run earlier on in February that they looked like maybe this is going to be a decent team, but then they had a pretty couple gruesome road trips at the end of February and in March now, where they've really struggled on the road. They're not scoring, and they're giving up a bunch. So, tough times in St. Louis. I don't think they're going to make the song and dance this year. Definitely not playing like that. And now you're rolling into Beantown in what is now a must-win game for every game. So really tough to come into Boston and take 2 points on the road. It's been done before, but like you said, Boston, they've won four in a row against St. Louis over the time. And, I'm expecting a lot the same tonight.
Listen, we talked a lot about, you and me, we've talked about trying to figure out these big teams, right? Like Dallas has stumbled. Vegas is falling apart. Boston had their stretch where they could only play games until fucking overtime and couldn't really win much of them. But I think this is, these teams have to figure it out, right? Because they're just too fucking good. And I think this is where Boston starts to figure out. They had some opportunities to make some moves at the deadline. All they really added was muscle. They brought the big rig Patty Maroon in. They brought the 6'3", third pair defenseman, Andrew Peak. So they kind of went more for the depth than they did for, that gunslinger that everyone's always looking for. And, that rental hired gun. But I think this is where a lot of these teams really start fine tuning with these small additions, big additions, whatever it is. And this is where they get primed up, and this is where they start going, man. It's just all a matter of, when does it start? Is it today or is it sometime next week?
Well, for one thing, for the Boston Bruins is Brad Marchand needs to get going. He's not been putting up a lot of points 5-on-5, and he's kind of been seeing a little bit of adversity as of late. So if Boston wants to really take control of this east side, they need him going. So pretty good opportunity here against a much weaker St. Louis team in your own barn. So I would like to see Marchand get a point tonight, especially 5-on-5. Because that's how the game is mostly played, and you can't rely on special teams to, pad your stats. So he's got to get going.
Well, as far as the guys that I have my eye on, as far as this game goes, the under at 5.5 here, and, St. Louis can't fucking score. Boston they've been playing better, as we come around, but, I have my eye on this 5.5 under. It's plus money right now. But where I really like, and I know this is going to be a bit of a stretch, right, is what I really like here is Pavel Zacha. Pavel Zacha has been playing tremendous over the last little stretch here. In the last 4 games, he's got 5 goals, 4 points. I've seen this guy in New Jersey a lot over the last couple seasons, and he is the definition of a streak show. When he scores in bunches, then you never fucking see him again for the next 15 fucking games. But he's playing with Pasta. Pasta's got 7 assists. Over the last 7 games. I got him right here at over just a point at plus 245. I'm sorry, over anytime goal. I got him at plus 245. And then you got some value with over a point at minus 135.
Definitely. He's been good. And he's going to keep on getting better, I think. Once you get a little bit of that confidence and the mojo starts going, it's tough to stop, especially on a team like that when you got line mates like he has.
Yeah, when you're playing with Pasta, I think I could put, 15 tucks a year playing alongside of that guy just by posting up in front of the net. All right, let's finish up over here on the West Coast. We got the Red Hot Islanders. We talked a little bit about them before, walking into LA. Isles are coming in as road dogs here, plus 125. LA minus 150 is the favorite. Over under set here at 5.5. I really think that this is going to be a spicy game. Both of these teams, are kind of riding a similar story here. They both had midseason coaching changes. They've had similar records since those coaching changes. LA has won 4 of the last 5 meetings. The over has only cashed out 2 times since then. The Islanders on this stretch, we said it before, they're riding a 6-game winning streak. They're 7-2-1. They've beaten some names here, man. I know that some of these teams have struggled a little bit, but they've beaten Boston. They've beaten Detroit. They've beaten Dallas. They overtook that last spot in the playoffs over Detroit over this weekend. Sorokin's going to get the nod here. He's 7-1-2 in his last 10. Where do you see going with this one?
It's an interesting spot because of how hot the Islanders are and what they've done in the standings just in the past weekend, right? They're hurdling teams. They're in a playoff spot right now, Burnsy. They just took over Detroit, and they got a game at hand. Detroit shit the bed, and they didn't even get a point in their little losing skid, their tailspin that they're on, because they're losing in regulation, and the Islanders are winning. So it was like a massive swing this weekend, and you got to give the Islanders credit. They've done a good job of finding the back of net. Like they haven't scored less than 4 goals and in this win streak, and they're only giving up 1 or 2. So with that being said, though, with the amount of scoring the Islanders have been doing, LA can put the puck in the net too. Like they can. And I really like this over 5.5. I mean, if you're looking at the Islanders, they're hot hand. I mean, all good things must have to come to an end. This is a back-to-back spot for the Islanders. It was the Ducks, but Ducks are a physical team. They're still going to bang you up, and whatnot. So, they played a lot of hockey. It's tough to win on back-to-back nights on the road when you played, 4 games in 5 days, or 4 games in 6 days, sorry. So eventually it's going to catch up to you. So you're against a good LA team, which is kind of in the same spot as you are, just on the west side. So it's going to be a tough one. I think I find LA is got a pretty good price at -145 as a favorite, but I definitely like the over as a free pick from me for sure.
Well, I mean, over the last 6 games, the Islanders have a +20 goal differential here. But, I mean, with that saying, they beat the Ducks by 5. They beat the Sharks by 5. So, I mean, there's half your plus right there. I mean, they're averaging 31 shots on goal, 4.2 goals per game over the last 10. Both these guys have a similar record as far as the new coaches coming in here. But, I mean, I do understand, this is not going to be easy, for the Isles here. I mean, the Kings have one of the best blue lines in the fucking league, man. They just got a little healthy this weekend. They got Adrian Kempe returning to the lineup. But one person on the Kings who is really, to your point about putting the puck in, has been Kevin Fiala, man. Ever since Hiller has taken over in just alone in his last games, he's got 14 points, 8 goals. He's sitting at a +170 anytime goal. Who do you see putting it in for LA? I mean, do you think LA is really going to put up a 5 spot here against Sorokin?
No, I don't think it's going to be a 5 spot. I mean, I do like Fiala. I was looking at the same thing earlier, and having Kempe back, he's been a big part of that LA team. So I like to see Kempe get back on the scoreboard. I forget why. I don't know why he was out. He was hurt. I forget what the injury was, but it's having him back. He brings a very good net presence. He gets pucks to the net. He's an agitator in the offensive zone because he's really hard to check. So I think you could definitely get a point in this one. So I wouldn't, you want to sprinkle a little parlay together. I definitely see LA scoring some goals tonight. So if you want to parlay a couple of those big names for LA on the prop bet side, I don't mind that decision at all.
Well, speaking about prop bets, I got my own little thing cooking on the aisle. Now, listen, man, this is not your granddaddy's Islanders here, I mean, they used to be the New York Ambients, but they are fucking flying high, and they're led by 3 fucking guys. And I think that's the biggest thing that Patty Waugh got right with taking this over. They got the chains off of Matty Barzal. I mean, this guy goes a billion miles an hour. He's playing with Nelson and Horvat. I mean, I'm putting together at +228. Over 0.5 point for all 3 of those guys. I mean, that's one fucking rush right there. So I definitely think these guys are going to be finding the back of the net and bringing home some Burnsy bunny here, some Burnsy bucks. All right, guys, those are our 3 out of 4 games that are on the schedule tonight. That's what we're doing over here at Puck U. Make sure you guys get over to whylose.com. We only got a little bit of the season left here. Make sure you get over, you check out Les. He's on a goddamn heater, man. This guy is just making money hand over fist. You can finish out the rest of this season with a $2.99 month pass. We're going to have some specials with a playoff drive coming up. Let's talk to the guys. What do you got for them?
No, you got it right, man. And it's the long game, right? You're going to have red nights, you're going to have green nights. It's about what it looks like at the end of the month, right? And month over month, we're constantly showing positive results. Sometimes it's huge, sometimes it's a lot less, but over the course of a season, which is, just like the hockey teams, they base their success on the course of the season. That's what we do here at Why Lose. We're not telling anybody to go dump their mortgage payment on the max bet spot, because sometimes it doesn't work. It has been working, it is working, and we plan on keeping it working. But
unless it's for the Devils
got
to
to
win the
use your
cup.
head, bet within your means, stick to a yeah, the futures bets are already rolling in on the Devils to win the cup, or maybe win the first pick in the lottery draft when they totally tank for the next 20 games.
All right, guys, make sure you stay connected with us on Telegram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Les is going to do a monster special for everybody once we get over 10,000 followers on Instagram. Get over to whyloose.com, your go-to source for all sports handicapping. Everybody's lighting on fire right now. For Les, I'm Bernsey. We'll check you guys back over here tomorrow. And until then, puck you.